There's a quiet pain that lives in the hearts of many. It's the pain of feeling alone, even when surrounded by people. This isn't just sadness, it's deeper, more silent, more misunderstood. But ancient spiritual teachings offer light in this darkness. Within these gentle truths lies the power to heal, grow, and rediscover connection. Let us explore this secret pain and uncover how small shifts in our thinking can lead to peace and purpose. Lesson 1. They feel invisible. Lonely people often feel like shadows moving through life. They exist, but it's as if no one truly sees them. They smile in conversations, nod politely, and answer questions. Yet inside, they wonder if anyone would notice if they disappeared. This feeling of invisibility isn't about attention. It's about wanting someone to truly care, to see past the surface and recognize the person within. Spiritual wisdom teaches that every person is part of a greater whole. No one is left out. But when loneliness takes hold, that truth becomes hard to believe. The mind plays tricks. It tells you you're not important, that you don't matter, that you're just floating through life without purpose. But invisibility is an illusion created by comparison and self-doubt. You are not invisible to the universe. The same light that shines in others shines in you. You may not feel seen by others, but you can begin by seeing yourself clearly. Sit quietly and breathe. Notice your thoughts without judgment. Accept your presence. This is how true awareness begins. When you recognize your own worth, you stop needing constant validation. You become less attached to being seen and more connected to your inner peace. That doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means becoming whole within, so you can engage with others from a place of strength. Try to be present. When you talk to someone, truly listen. When you walk outside, notice the world around you. These small moments of awareness bring you back into connection, not only with others but with life itself. You are not invisible. You are part of something greater. The journey is not about forcing others to see you. It is about opening your eyes to your own presence and realizing you were never truly alone to begin with. Lesson 2. They deeply crave connection. Lonely people feel a powerful craving. It's not for attention or fame, it's for connection. For a moment where hearts meet. For a conversation where both people feel understood. It's the deep hunger to be known, not just seen. This craving is natural. Humans are wired for connection. Spiritual teachings remind us that all things are interwoven. Just like the wind touches the trees and the river flows to the sea, people are made to connect. But when connection is missing, it creates a painful emptiness. This emptiness often leads to restlessness. You scroll through messages, hoping someone will reach out. You walk into a room, hoping someone will talk to you. Yet when nothing happens, the silence becomes louder. The key is not to chase connection, but to create it. You can start with small acts of kindness. A gentle smile to a stranger, a message to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. These small efforts plant seeds. Maybe not all will grow, but some will. Connection also begins within. Before seeking deep connection with others, you must connect with your own heart. Sit still and ask yourself what you truly feel. Do you long for friendship? For love? For peace? Be honest and hold your heart with compassion. You are not weak for needing others. You are human. When you begin to show up for yourself, you naturally draw people in. People are drawn to authenticity. They feel your presence. And slowly, the walls of isolation begin to fall. Spirituality doesn't deny our need for others. It just teaches us not to cling. Don't force connection. Let it come with openness, not desperation. You are worthy of love and friendship, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Craving connection isn't wrong. It's a call to remember that you were never meant to walk this life alone. Let that longing guide you, not into despair, but toward deeper, more meaningful relationships that begin with kindness, honesty, and love. Lesson 3. They feel shame about it. There's a heavy silence around loneliness. Not just the silence of being alone, but the silence of shame. Many lonely people feel embarrassed. They believe something must be wrong with them. After all, if they were better, funnier, more interesting, wouldn't they be surrounded by people? This shame is a quiet burden. It hides behind smiles, it masks itself in jokes, but underneath there's pain, a voice that whispers, "Why are you like this?" And worse, "You shouldn't be." But there's no shame in feeling lonely. It doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're human. Even wise spiritual teachers experienced deep solitude. Even they cried in the quiet of the night. The pain is not the problem. The belief that it makes you unworthy, that's where suffering begins. Shame grows in darkness. But when you bring your truth to light, healing begins. Speak your feelings out loud. Write them down, share them with someone safe. Not to seek pity, but to release the weight. The more you hide your pain, the heavier it becomes. You are not the only one who feels this way. Many are carrying the same shame, afraid to speak. When you open up, you give others permission to do the same. You create space for honesty. And in that space, shame begins to dissolve. Spiritual wisdom teaches us to look at our pain with compassion, not judgment. Imagine holding your loneliness like a child. Softly, kindly. Ask it what it needs. Often it simply needs your love, your patience, your understanding. There is no weakness in admitting you're lonely. There is courage in being honest. Let go of the belief that you must be perfect to be loved. You don't, you just have to be real. Let the shame fall away. You're not failing at life. You're walking a hard path with quiet strength. And that deserves respect, not guilt. Choose kindness for yourself, and you will begin to feel free. Lesson 4. They can't explain their void. There's a strange emptiness that loneliness brings. It's not easy to describe. Some days it feels like a hole inside your chest. Other days like a fog that won't lift. And the hardest part? You often can't explain why it's there. Friends might say, "But you have people around you." Others might ask, "Why are you sad?" And you don't have an answer. You just know something's missing. Something vital, something hard to name. This invisible void is part of the deeper suffering of life. It's not just the absence of people. It's the absence of feeling connected, seen, and understood. The emptiness isn't outside, it's inside. Spiritual teachings don't deny this emptiness. They help us face it with honesty. They teach that this void is not a punishment, but a signpost. It's showing us something. Maybe we've placed our happiness in the hands of others. Maybe we've been chasing distractions hoping they'll fill the space, but none of them do. You can't fill the void by running from it. You must sit with it, listen to it, let it speak. What does it long for? Often it longs for truth, for connection, for meaning. And here's the truth. No one thing will fill you forever. Not one person, not one job, not one moment. Fulfillment comes from a deeper place. It comes when you stop trying to escape the void and instead walk into it with open eyes. Start small. Find quiet moments to reflect. Light a candle. Take a walk without your phone. Listen to your breath. These small acts of stillness allow space for deeper peace to emerge. You are not broken for feeling this way. You're simply waking up. The emptiness isn't the end. It's the beginning. It invites you to explore, to heal, and to reconnect with the parts of yourself you've ignored. Don't fear the void. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to guide you home. And when you listen, you'll find that even the emptiest spaces can teach the deepest lessons. Lesson 5. They feel alone in a crowd. One of the most painful kinds of loneliness is the one you feel surrounded by people. You could be in a room full of laughter, in a crowd at a concert, or sitting among friends, and still feel deeply alone. It's not about how many people are near. It's about how connected you feel inside. Being alone in a crowd brings a strange kind of sorrow. You may wonder, why can't I feel what they feel? You watch others talk with ease, smile with joy, and yet something inside you feels cut off. This loneliness is like being on the outside, looking in, unable to cross the invisible wall that separates you from real closeness. Spiritual truth tells us that outer conditions don't always match the inner world. You can be in silence and feel at peace. You can be in a crowd and feel more isolated than ever. This disconnection reminds us that true belonging doesn't come from where you are. It comes from how you relate to the present moment. When you feel alone in a crowd, don't judge yourself. Don't compare your emotions to others. Instead, become curious. Ask yourself gently, what am I feeling? What am I needing right now? This kind of inner listening helps build a bridge between you and the world again. Sometimes it helps to focus on one person. Rather than feeling lost in the sea of faces, try to truly connect with one soul. A kind word, a shared smile. Even small moments of connection can anchor you and remind you that you are not entirely alone. Another practice is grounding yourself in your body. Feel your feet on the ground. Listen to the sounds around you. These small acts bring you into the now, and in the now, the walls of isolation begin to soften. You are not strange for feeling disconnected. You are not weak, you are sensitive. A deep soul who longs for more than surface-level noise. That is a gift. Nurture it. Let your loneliness lead you to deeper awareness, not of others, but of the quiet truth that lives within. Lesson 6. They fear never belonging. There's a deep fear that lives inside many lonely people. It's the fear that they will never belong, not just to a group, but to anything. They fear always feeling like an outsider, like the one who doesn't quite fit. This fear is quiet but powerful. It shapes how they speak, how they dress, how they move through the world. This fear comes from repeated moments of disconnection, from not being chosen, from being left out. Over time, the heart begins to expect rejection. It becomes cautious. It tells itself, don't get too close, don't hope too much. And slowly, the fear of never belonging becomes a silent companion. But spiritual wisdom reminds us that true belonging doesn't start with others. It starts with you. When you accept yourself fully, when you stop pretending, when you stop shrinking, something shifts. You begin to create a space inside that welcomes you. And in doing so, you start to attract the places and people who feel right. You don't need to force your way into spaces that don't welcome your spirit. You deserve to be where your heart feels safe. You deserve to speak without fear, to rest without masks. But for this to happen, you must first allow yourself to belong to your own life. Spend time doing what brings you peace. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Trust that somewhere there are people who need your exact kind of light. But you'll only find them when you stop hiding that light. Let go of the idea that belonging means fitting in. Belonging means being accepted just as you are. And that begins with you accepting yourself. Your story, your scars, your dreams. You are not too much. You are not too different. You are not unworthy. You are simply on a path toward your people, your place, your peace. And though it may take time, the journey is worth it. Because the moment you truly feel you belong, even if just with one person, it heals every lie that told you otherwise. Lesson 7. They're tired of reaching out. Lonely people often carry the weight of trying. They've sent messages that went unanswered. They've made plans that got canceled. They've reached out time and again, only to be met with silence or distance. After a while, the effort becomes exhausting. It is not that they don't want connection. It is that they were tired of always being the one to ask for it. There's a deep weariness that comes from one-sided reaching. It makes you feel like a burden. It makes you question your place in others' lives. You begin to think, if I stop trying, would anyone notice? And that thought hurts more than the silence itself. But spiritual teachings offer a gentle truth. Reaching out is only healthy when it flows from a full heart, not an empty one. You can't give what you don't have, and you don't have to keep giving if it's only draining you. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause, breathe. Stop chasing people who don't see your value. Use that energy to nourish yourself. Rest, heal, reconnect with your own heart. Not in bitterness, but in wisdom. The right connections will meet you halfway. Real relationships aren't built on effort alone. They're built on mutual care, and you deserve that. You deserve to be met, not just tolerated. Let go of the idea that love must always be pursued. Sometimes it finds you when you stop forcing it, When you create space for stillness, the right people begin to appear. Not because you chased them, but because you became someone rooted in peace. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are wise for knowing when to rest. The world does not rest on your shoulders. Let your heart recover, and trust that when you stop reaching out to what drains you, you create space for what nourishes you to come in. Lesson 8. They doubt their own worth. Loneliness doesn't just whisper that you're alone. It begins to shout that you're not enough. Over time, the silence around you becomes a mirror reflecting imagined flaws. Maybe you think you're too quiet, too sensitive, not interesting enough. Slowly, you start to believe that your loneliness is your fault, that if you were better, people would stay. This self-doubt is cruel. It twists reality. It convinces you that you're the problem, even when you're not. But here's the truth. Your worth is not defined by who chooses you. It's not measured by how many friends you have or how many texts you receive. Your value is unshakable. It exists even when no one else sees it. Spiritual teaching reminds us that every life is precious, that no soul is a mistake. You are not here by accident. You carry a unique energy, a gift, a voice that no one else can offer. And even when the world fails to reflect that back to you, it remains true. Doubt will visit, that's normal, but you don't have to live with it. When that voice tells you you're not enough, pause, breathe, speak gently to yourself, say, I am trying, say, I matter. These small words have great power. Start to do things that remind you of your light. Create something, even if it's imperfect. Help someone without expecting anything in return. Sit in nature and let it reflect your beauty back to you. These moments help silence the lies that self-doubt brings. You don't need to be more impressive. You don't need to change your soul to be loved. The right people will see your light. But before they do, you must learn to see it too. Your worth is not a question, it's a fact. You may feel unseen, but that doesn't mean you are empty. The world may not always mirror your beauty, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. Keep walking, keep growing, and remember, the most powerful love you can receive is the one you give yourself, fully, freely, and without conditions. Lesson 9. They suffer in silence. Loneliness often hides behind a smile. On the outside, everything may look fine, but inside there's a quiet ache, a silent struggle that few people ever see. Many lonely people suffer in silence because they fear being judged, or they don't want to be a burden, or maybe they've tried to speak before and no one listened. So they carry the weight alone. They wake up with it, walk with it, sleep with it, and still, they pretend everything is okay. But inside, there's a longing for someone to simply ask, "Are you really okay?" and truly mean it. This silence is dangerous. It can harden the heart. It can make people feel like they must always be strong, even when they're falling apart. But ancient wisdom teaches that healing begins when truth is spoken. You don't have to scream it. Even a whisper counts. Speaking your truth is not weakness, it is strength. Sharing your pain does not make you less, it makes you real. You are not a burden for having emotions. You are not a problem for needing support. You are human. Begin small. You don't need to tell the world. Just one person, or even a journal. Write what you feel. Speak it in a prayer, if that feels safe. Let your soul be heard, because silence may feel safe, but it also keeps you locked in pain. You deserve to be supported, but people can't help if they don't know you're hurting. Trust that someone out there cares, and if you haven't found them yet, know that your story still matters. Your voice still matters. There is beauty in vulnerability. There is power in truth. And when you share even a little of your hidden struggle, you create space for others to do the same. One by one, the silence breaks. The healing begins. You don't have to carry this alone. There is strength in reaching out. There is hope in being heard. And there is light waiting to meet you the moment you allow your truth to rise above the silence. Lesson 10. They long to share experiences. Lonely people don't just want someone to talk to. They want someone to live with, someone to walk beside, to laugh at the same moment, to look at the stars together in silence, to say, "Remember that day?" and have someone who does. It's not just about company, it's about shared memory, about feeling like your life is seen, that your moments matter, that your experiences are not just passing clouds, but part of a shared sky. This longing is deep. It makes ordinary moments feel empty. Eating a meal, watching a sunset, hearing a song, it all feels a little less real without someone to share it with. And when this need goes unmet, the soul begins to feel forgotten. Spiritual wisdom tells us that connection begins with presence. When you are fully present in your own life, each experience becomes rich, whether shared or not. You can learn to sit with beauty, to see wonder, to breathe in the joy of a single flower. And in that deep presence, you realize you are never truly alone. But still, the longing remains. And that's okay. You are not wrong for wanting someone to walk beside you. That desire is not weakness. It's part of your humanity. What matters is how you hold it. Don't let it become bitterness. Let it become a prayer for companionship rooted in truth, for love that's real, not rushed, for connection that grows, not just passes through. When you live with honesty, you attract others who are doing the same. Until then, share your life in small ways. Write your thoughts, send a message, capture moments that matter to you. Build a life you're proud of, and one day, someone will be honored to witness it with you. The desire to share is beautiful. It shows your heart is alive. Keep that heart open. Keep hoping. And remember, the love you long to give and receive is a reflection of the light already within you. Keep walking. Your path is leading somewhere meaningful, and someone someday will be glad to walk it with you. Loneliness is not the end of your story. It is a chapter, a quiet part of the journey, but even here there is meaning, growth, strength. The teachings shared are not just words, they are signposts. Use them to guide yourself home, to truth, to healing, to connection. You are not alone in your loneliness, and your light is never lost.